edition of CovInspiration with Dayo Israel. It is an exciting evening for me and for all of us today, and I believe it's the same thing for you guys who are watching us. Of course, there's been a lot of challenge. It's an unprecedented period for us in Nigeria. A lot of lives have been lost to the COVID-19 challenge and all other things happening across the world, the lockdown. But in the midst of it, we want to thank God for life. And we're grateful to God that at least we're still here. And one thing that is also important is that we make the life that we have, we make it count. And we achieve purpose with our life. And that's one of the things that is most important. Tonight, we have the privilege of having the Honorable Minister for Women Affairs and Social Development, if I'm correct, Women Affairs in Nigeria with us. But before I bring Mama up, for the first time, I'm bringing in other young people like myself, people who we have gone through the same journey together, to join us in the conversation with the Honorable Minister as co-hosts and co-panelists tonight. All the way from Lagos, Nigeria, I have Esther Afolayan. Esther was the Senate President of the Nigerian Children's Parliament. From 2005, I think she served on 1 or 2 tenures, and we're so proud of her achievement. She's now doing so well in the private sector. Esther, welcome to the show today.
Thank you so much, Senator Dayo. It's such a pleasure to be here. Hi, everyone.
Thank you, Esther. Also, all the way from Kogi State, the Confluence State, Nigeria, we have Senator Aisha Ibrahim. Aisha Ibrahim was Speaker of the Kogi State Children's Parliament. Aisha, welcome to the show this evening.
Thank you so much, Dayo. I'm pleased to be here. I'm pleased to meet all of you. And I was the Speaker of Kogi State Children's Parliament. I was a member of the National Children's Parliament. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much, Aisha, for being here. And of course, we have with us here our mother, also our grandmother. She's as young as us today. I told her, I said, Mommy, you look so young without the gilly. She's a woman of impact. She's a woman of timber and caliber. As a matter of fact, she had served as Minister of Science and Tech in Nigeria between 1999 and 2003. Aside being Minister of Science and Tech, she went on as an achieving and successful woman to become the first female deputy governor in the whole of northern Nigeria. She has achieved a lot for our generation. She's one of the women Nigeria is proud of. I present to you, everyone, the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs in Nigeria, Dame Pauline Tallen, OFR. Thank you so much, ma, for joining us, Honorable Minister.
Thank you, Dayo, and thank you, everyone. It's good to be here.
Thank you, man. So before we get into the policy issues, the development issues, tonight is a mother and child conversation. So, Honorable Minister, how did your journey start? How did you even, begin to get involved in politics and leadership? Growing up in northern Nigeria, where did all the aspirations start? We'll start from there. I know a lot of people are here. They want to hear about domestic violence. They want to hear about child participation. We'll come to that. We want to know the Honorable Minister first. Honorable Minister, how did you start?
Thank you very much. I started from a very humble home. My father was a teacher, a primary school teacher, and my mom, a housewife, full-time housewife, but she sells kunu and food to school children in our community. So she was virtually a mother to everyone, and I grew up under her tutelage with a very disciplined dad and a disciplined mom. I was also a tomboy. I loved, yes, I'm the second to the last in my family. We're a family of 7, 3 girls and 4 boys. But I always like acting like a man. But I love women so much, but I protect the girls in my class. I shield and protect them, but I associate with the boys. But if you try to touch any girl in my class, I will fly on you.
And what led you into politics? Is it because of your passion? Because it's a dirty game as we know. When you started, it wasn't common for women. You were even minister after the military government. What earned you that?
Well, I started not being a minister, I started from the lowest.
Wow.
I started as a local government councillor in my community.
How old were you at that time, ma?
I was just 30. I was 32.
Wow.
From there, I participated so much in community development. I love helping and organizing women towards self-help projects. I love addressing social problems within my community. It was just natural in me. I love people. I love discussing issues affecting the lives of people. And from there, I will mobilize and organize women to support government projects, to support community projects. I started doing that before late Mariam Babangida decided to organize and call women of Nigeria at the grassroots under the Better Life program to mobilize women help self projects. So she were sent out to states, governors, and local government chairmen, identifying the criteria of nominating a woman leader who would mobilize women towards this. And before the letter came, I was naturally doing that. So the chairman of the local government called me and said, wow, all the qualities in you is what is specified in this letter. You've been mobilizing our women, you've called on us to do things for the community, you've called on us to involve women in governance and carry women along in decision making. She said everything. He said everything that you are complaining about is specified in this. And therefore, the wife of the military president that time, that's late Mariam Babangida, wants to meet women leaders at the grassroots. So a day was fixed. The letter of invitation came that we were all invited for the first meeting with the wives of governors in preparation towards attending the national meeting with the wife of the then president. So that was how it happened. So while we were on that, she now decided to plead with the president to involve women at the grassroots level as councillors. That's women representatives at the grassroots
level.
Every local government, yes. The military administrators were directed, letters were sent out that each local government must appoint and nominate one woman leader to be in the local government caretaker committee to represent women.
And you had been doing something.
I was doing that before the Better Life program came up. And by the time the Better Life program came up, everybody unanimously within my local government, they said, there's nobody that qualifies for this more than you. You are already doing everything that is being specified in this letter. So I was appointed as a member of the local government management committee.
So the lesson from that, man, is that young people should not wait until being given the opportunity, but should begin to do something and take responsibility.
Do things naturally. Do things without looking back, without being told to do it. If you do things naturally, without any string attached, God has a way of rewarding you. And that was the case, and that was the beginning of the journey.
And you went on from that?
From there,
to become...
After 1 year, there was a change of government. The military administrators were dropped, new ones were appointed, and the whole local government management committee were dissolved. 23 local governments. That was when Nasarawa was still under Plateau. Plateau and Nasarawa was one state. So they dissolved all except me.
Wow.
I was the only woman among the 23 female councillors that was reappointed for the second tenure under another new administration. Asked me because I didn't know the security were assessing and monitoring all that I was doing. I was the only one that was incorrupted. I was the only one that stood firm for the ideals, the mandate, and the mission of what will help the women.
Wow.
So I was reappointed for the second time. From there was they lifted the ban on politics after I finished my 2 tenures. And I happened to be the first woman to be called by my community because of my outstanding performance as councillor when the ban on politics was lifted in 1993. The community, different organizations insisted that I must come out to contest for chairmanship of my local government. So I came out. There was pressure on my husband to allow me to come out, and he finally when I went to pick the form to contest, it was held by everyone, and by the time I came back, there were 2 political parties then, the SDP and the NRC. I was under the Social Democratic Party, that is the SDP. I contested election, and the election I was the only woman contesting among 9 men. 9 other men were also contesting for the same position. And by the time they wanted to pull down the number, they called us for a unity meeting in the palace, and they were asking everybody should speak, give out your manifesto, what led you to come out to contest, what do you have in stock for the people. When I got up, I read out my manifesto, I stated out my achievements. I happened to be the first woman to open and set up a model nursery and primary school in my community.
In your local government?
In my local government, because that time I observed that expatriates would not accept to come and teach in the local government because there was no good school for their children. If they post doctors or science teachers, and my local government till today is the only local government that has a science girls secondary school. It's science-oriented secondary school that is specifically for the girl child.
So, Honorable Minister, man, sorry to interrupt you, man. You're telling us, man, so because a lot of time people say women are not given opportunities, but perhaps because of your exploit, differently even from other women, you were able to continuously rise in political office.
Sure.
And so when women are given opportunities, they must do beyond the ordinary and make a mark to open doors for more women to get access.
Sure. And I enjoyed the full support of my late husband. And that's why I always remember I said, after God, I give him all necessary support. My father was also very, very supportive. So I had the support of my parents and my husband. And anytime, if you are in politics, I keep telling anytime I'm mentoring young women, I tell them, if you are in politics, particularly married women, if you get the support of your husband, you can fly. But if you don't get the support of your husband, forget it. We're in a man's world, and a statement from your husband speaks volume. If your husband supports you, you will go places. Everybody will support. But if your husband condemns you, so that's why anytime I'm mentoring young women, I tell them, you must always know how to manage your home well. Get the support of your husband, get the support of your community, and then the journey will be much easier.
But before I go into policy issues, how were you able to do this period to manage work-life balance? How were you able to balance both your career in politics, and for a lot of women who are watching, how can you be a career woman and also be a family woman based on the role of your husband?
Very well. If you have a supportive husband and you can plan well, all you need to do is to plan your day well, plan and manage it well, then all things will go well. You plan,
Absolutely.
I do my planning all through the night. In the morning, I execute.
So what would you consider your biggest achievement or your top achievement since becoming the Minister for Women Affairs under this administration? What would you consider your core achievement in the ministry in this period?
Thank you very much. Well, it's too early. I don't like blowing my trumpet. I don't like talking about my achievements. I am humble, and I feel it's people that should talk about my achievements. But my greatest achievements in life is human development. Human development. I believe in human development. I believe in mentoring the young ones. I believe in touching lives. The essence of living is to make a difference in somebody's life.
Absolutely, man.
I'll give an example. I set up my school, the Northway Primary School, in January 12, 1982. Guess how many years now?
That's about 35, 36 years.
Yeah. And to today, I have graduated. I have brought up graduates in different fields. My students, all through life, I have doctors, I have lawyers, I have engineers, name it. And in fact, what touches my life most was during my election. I contested governorship election in 2011.
11 years.
And when I contested, my old students, they mobilized themselves, they made T-shirts, they contributed money to support my campaign. That was so touching, and I was virtually in tears for joy. So for every good you do or you put into the society, there's a payback time, particularly human development. I thank God for the lives I've touched. I thank God for my contribution within my community, and I will continue to do that. In the Ministry of Women Affairs now, the key thing top on my agenda is the girl-child education. The education of the girl-child is top on my agenda. And the issues affecting women are so huge. There are two problems affecting women generally. Is it violence against women? Is it domestic violence? Is it now what is in the air on daily basis is the rape of the girl child, minors, women, name it. Lack of women representation in politics, lack of women representation in governance, gender balancing. All these are issues we talk about. But top on the list is the girl child education. And we are working closely with the Ministry of Education to ensure and to see how we can be able to make a difference and to find a way.
Man, talking about girl child education, if we look at what has happened, for example, in the Northeast and in the northern part of Nigeria, access to education for a lot of our young girls is still a challenge. What are you doing to promote access? In particular, not just for the girl child, but even for the Amajiris. A lot of state government has brought in principles sending Amajiris back to their state. How are you working with Ministry of Women Affairs in the various state and the state governors to ensure access for these young people, both for women, young girls, and also for our young people in general?
Thank you very much. The issue of the girl child is a societal problem. It's not a problem that concerns the Ministry of Women Affairs. We are on the driver's seat. We will continue to do our best, but there are so many stakeholders that must key in for us to achieve this. Number one, enlightenment of the parents. The parents must be willing to support the education of the girl. The community support, our religious leaders, our community leaders, before we can successfully achieve it. Then the education and my ministry can now then come in and support in whatever way. Government is ready and willing to encourage and see that every child, the education of every child is paramount to this administration. Mr. President has said it over and over, and it's a right. Education is a right of every child. And I strongly believe that if all hands are on deck to give the girl child her rightful place, support her education, ensure that she is fully enrolled in school, retain in school, and complete at least the senior secondary school. That's the minimum. That's the minimum. We would have been able to handle the issue of early marriage, because child marriage is so common, particularly in the North. If we are able to ensure that all states domesticate the Child's Right Act, then we would have made a lot of progress, because the Child's Right Act makes it mandatory for every child to be educated, for every child to be fully protected, supported, and ensure that he has a conducive environment to live and strive and get to the best he can achieve.
Mommy, before you continue,
yes,
I want to add, we talk about girl child protection and girl child education. I know Esther wants to ask a question. I'll give Esther a chance after you answer this question. But the point is, we focus a lot on the girls in terms of promoting girl child education, and we pay less attention to the boys, because the reality is you need to engage the boys to also advocate for their sisters' education. We need to ensure. So if you're talking about sexual violence, and we're really talking about girl child protection against sexual violence, less attention is being given to even the boy child engagement, raising our boy child well to respect women. How do we bridge this gap, ma? I think the Honorable Minister's network, let me see. I think she has a network, but she will be joining us. Esther, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, loud and clear.
I can hear you too.
Okay, I think mommy's network is having issues. She's going to join us back. I'm sure she will reconnect back to us. Let's just wait for her. In the meantime, Esther, did you get the point that I was raising? I'm sure yes. Hold on. Mommy's back.
Totally. I was nodding the entire time. Okay, great.
Yeah. Yes, ma. Sorry,
Yes.
we lost you there, ma. Did you hear what I was saying, ma? That if we don't engage the boys, it makes it challenging to really protect the girls. If we're talking about rape and sexual violence, unless advocacy is being done with the boy child, it will not have a long-term impact on what we're doing. How do we engage the boy child in protecting the girl child?
Thank you very much, Dayo. This is a very, very important and pertinent question. And this is where I'm harping more on parents to treat children equally. It must start from the home. If you have a boy and a girl, you must treat them equally. That is the starting point of gender equality. Parents must treat their children equally. Don't feel that, no, he's a boy, he shouldn't wash plates, he shouldn't clean the house, he shouldn't sweep, he shouldn't cook. His work is to wake up, have his bath, go to the table, wait. The girl child will cook and put the food on the table for him, and he goes to school or do any other thing. No, he doesn't participate in the homeschool. That is acceptable. If you train up your children equally, you have some boys can even cook better than the girls. I can give myself an example. I have 5 children, 4 girls and 1 boy. I never segregate or treat them differently. My son, he cooks even better than some of the girls. He cleans the house, he does everything the girls do in the house. So parents must learn to treat their children equally. Some girls can even excel better than the boys, if given the opportunity. There's nothing a man can do that a woman cannot do. And there's nothing a woman can do that a man cannot do. We've seen men winning prizes, award prizes, as the best chef in international hotels everywhere.
Yes.
Imagine you've seen where men won prizes as the best chef. So there's nothing that a man cannot do. Sometimes, most of our homes, the men are men. So there's nothing wrong with treating them equally, and the best in them will come out. So the starting point is from the home. Parents must learn to treat their children equally. Parents must discipline their children equally. Parents must give the girl child that sense of belonging to excel.
Thank you, Ma. Esther, I know you have a question for the Honorable Minister. Please go ahead.
So much fun. Yes, please. So yes, thank you so much. First, I must say that, Ma'am, we're really inspired by you, to be honest. And it's a great opportunity to connect with you, knowing that you have come all this way and your journey has been so inspiring. And we appreciate all that you do with the Ministry of Women Affairs. But I think it's important that we ask that whilst we try to ensure that families begin to train their children equally, we're giving the girl child and the male child equally. There's a life process that goes on where male children and female children become young men and women and then do actions that they're not accountable for. So in recent times now, we've heard of sexual violence, there's been issues of rape, there's been issues of domestic violence. And the point is, how is the ministry helping to get perpetrators accountable? How are we helping to make sure that culprits are being held accountable and brought to book for their crimes and their offenses? Because it's easy for, I believe that once I hear on the news that somebody has gotten away with a crime but they're not able to find someone, it's easy for so many other people to think, do it and then get away with it. Every day we're on the internet, we're hearing that this child is being molested somewhere by some elderly person, by some brother, but we're not hearing of what is being done, maybe by the ministry or by the police, to bring these people to book, to charge them to court and to make sure that they've been punished. So I want to know what policies are changing, what rules are being put in place, what structures are being created to even make provision for a safe haven for victims to come to. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Again, I will throw it back, as I earlier mentioned, the issue of the education of the girl child. It is the rape issue and the punishment for rape victims. It is again a multi-sectoral. The Ministry of Women Affairs cannot. We need the law enforcement agencies, the police, the doctors that will give the report, everybody. So health issues are there. These law enforcement agencies, particularly the police, and starting point. So I took up this matter Before COVID-19, I know that rape cases, violence against women, domestic violence has always been there. It has always been there as an epidemic. But I tell you, with the coming of COVID-19, we are facing a pandemic of rape, sexual violence, domestic violence against minors, small children, innocent children, and women. COVID-19, the lockdown has created,
Revealed.
it has revealed where women and innocent children are being locked down in the same home with their abusers.
Yes.
Totally. Totally.
It's like being locked into a prison with a lion. Called lion.
Wow.
So it's a very, very sad and heartbreaking situation. My heart bleeds with all the cases we receive every day. The one that was mind-blowing was the case of Vera that was innocently raped and killed in a church while she went quietly do some reading at night. So tell me, the church should have been the safest place you can.
Yes, for a child.
For a child. If a child is the height of wickedness, after raping, you now kill the child. The same thing, Barakat was raped and killed in her father's home. So many cases. When I called an emergency meeting 3 weeks ago with female commissioners of the 36 states, what was revealed in cases across the states is mind-blowing. And every day, every hour, there is no state that is free of this crime. And rape and domestic violence, rape against women and children is a crime against humanity.
Humanity.
Rapists are murderers, they are killers. Because when you rape an innocent child, a young girl, you've destroyed that child for life. And how can such people be allowed to live and exist with us in the community? That is not acceptable.
Yes.
The Bank Act spells out all the punishment, but our problem in the past has been lack of enforcement of this
implementation and enforcement.
But with the hype of
social media,
sexual violence, which has been blown out with social media, everybody is now aware. All hands are on it. The civil society organizations are crying out. Every society, every organization is crying out, seeking for help for children and women. I took it up last week, Wednesday. I presented a memo in the Federal Executive Council, and believe me, I have never seen the kind of political will and support I got with this memo. It was supported by everybody. Nobody said anything against the memo. Mr. President is fully committed. He has made an open statement condemning it, and he has assured Nigerians and Nigerian women and children that under his watch, women and children will be fully protected.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much, man.
Thank you. It's not just the president, the National Assembly, the Senate President, the Speaker of the National Assembly, all our governors, wives of governors, wife of the president, everybody has condemned rape and sexual violence. And since all hands are on deck, we are making progress. Mr. President has given a marching order to the Inspector General of Police to ensure that all rape cases are dealt with immediately, and to ensure that justice is given to victims. He has also directed the Attorney General to put in place an interministerial committee to ensure that all cases and victims and the laws that are in place be enforced. So enforcement of the law has been our problem, and then lack of domesticating the Child's Right Act and the FACT Act in our various states. These are the issues that I addressed the Governors Forum, and I'm glad to tell you the good news is that our governors are committed, they all promise, and they have declared a state of emergency on rape and gender-based violence. So
Thank
we
you.
are taking the truth from there, and I believe we will not stop talking, we will not stop fighting, we will not stop crying out for justice for any victim of rape and domestic violence.
Thank you, Mama. Aisha, I'm sure you have a question for the Honorable Minister. Please go ahead.
Very well. I actually have questions. Thank you so much.
Questions.
First of
Ask
all,
one first.
I would like to say I'm really inspired.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm really inspired by the Honorable Minister. You're a living legend, and I aspire to at least get close to where you are today, someday. Okay, so my question is, I understand that the ministry is not the police and the ministry is not the military, but is the ministry in contact with the state ministries and the law enforcement agencies to ensure that we don't just realize all these crimes and stuff that are done against young people, women and children, and then we just talk about it and there is no enforcement. For us to be able to stop this menace, I believe we have to be engaged with the law enforcement agencies and the state ministries and stuff. I actually wrote a proposal, and I'm not sure it has gotten to where I want it to get to. It's on rape, and it's about enhancing the punishment, making it a bit more steep. I proposed castration, and I tagged the yes, castrate the rapist or cut off her breast if it's a female, which I have not heard. Okay, I saw one case anyway. So to be fair, I also proposed for the female for them to cut off her breast. So if we have stiffer laws, I believe it would go a very long way in curbing this menace, because most people do it and you only hear about it. You don't hear that, oh, he has been remanded in prison. I think I saw just one or two cases that have been, one or two culprits that have been caught and taken to to prison and to court. We can't always just talk about it and
I think Aisha's network got disconnected, but I'm sure you understand the question, ma.
I've heard all that Aisha has said. Aisha, I am fully with you, and I fully agree with all that you said. I want to assure you that it will no longer be talk shop. It's not going to be just a talk shop as it used to be. It's going to be talking and acting. I have assured you of the political will, the political commitment from the top, the highest level. That's the presidency, the National Assembly, the judiciary. Everybody is concerned. And again, if you will recall, last year during the 16 days activism against rape and gender-based violence, it was a 16 days campaign. We started on the 25th of November to the 10th of December. Within these days, we were all in orange, condemning rape, condemning gender-based violence and all whatnot. And within that period, on the 25th of November, we opened a sex offenders register, which is domiciled with NAPTIP. The sex offenders register is in place to expose all rapists. Anybody that is caught being a rapist, his picture and all his details will be exposed in the screen. on the sex offenders register. So a rapist within your community, your pictures, your everything will be passed out. You are declared a rapist is a murderer, a rapist is a killer. A rapist, once he's shamed and made known, nobody will reduce the crime rate because most of them never want to be exposed. They do it and run away. But this time, we are going to mount a national aggressive, intensive mobilization. And this is will be done in conjunction with the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, with all the agencies. The National Orientation Agency, we will work closely with them to mount this aggressive advocacy campaign to sensitize Nigerians, to educate Nigerians towards this deadly act that is killing and destroying our society. By the time we will take this campaign right to the grassroots, we are praying God that very soon we'll be out of COVID-19. Then we will be able to move out. If we are able to move out, this campaign will be so aggressive that it will involve everyone. Community leaders, the vigilante, the youths. In fact, the youths are my target group. Because if the youth within a community, the vigilante group own this project, if they take it up as their own, they will be the better from that. I believe they will even do better jobs to help the police because they are everywhere. Their eyes in their eyes. Once they identify a rapist within your neighborhood, you deal with him decisively. If we allow the community to own and take up this project and condemn and expose rapists, shame them, and give them stiffer penalties. Aisha, you are right. Even in the National Assembly, some honorable members, some men, advocated for incarceration. Even in the Federal Executive Council, some of the male ministers suggested that. That is to show you the anger in everybody. Everybody is angry. Everybody wants to see an end to this shameful, horrible act that is being done on our children, particularly the minors. Our women, our children have suffered enough. We say enough is enough.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, ma. Thank you, ma. Before I go to Austine, are you there? I know you have a question for the Honorable Minister, but before I take your question, I want to go to child participation. Ma, all of us who are here are products of the Children's Parliament. We are all what you would consider the federal government's baby. I got elected into this parliament at 14. I had the privilege of visiting Japan, Paris, at least about 30, 40 countries. I went to the Engr session in New York to represent Nigerian children, and many nations, World Summit, World Water Forum. It was a background for us. It laid a foundation for us. Now we are built on that foundation that the Children's Parliament has laid for us. And why is it important? The UN Convention on the Rights of the Child says among the partnership we seek, to children themselves we turn. In other words, how can we build a future for children and young people without involving children and young people in decision making on issues that affect that future that we are going to live in? So how do we, because right now, for example, platforms like the Children's Parliament are already weakened. They don't have a voice. When we were there, the House of National Assembly threw out the Child Rights Bill in, I think it was 2002. We, the members, we did advocacy and made sure the bill got passed. We had sittings when Obasanjo was going to inaugurate the SEED, the NEED, National Economic Development, the NEED and the SEED strategy. We were involved. We have consultative forum. How can we involve more young people in the decision-making process at the federal level?
Thank you very much. I believe in mentoring, and we're doing that. Recently, we mentored, we call it a shadowing project, where young girls like Esther and Aisha were selected and attached to chief executives for 1 week, from morning till evening, all through while she's in the office, wherever she goes, she sees what she's doing. I very much believe in mentoring, and the Children's Parliament, my ministry, we are working closely with them, and we will continue to do that. It's unfortunate that all my programs for the girl child education, the advocacy that I had planned to visit schools randomly across the country, has been bogged down because of this COVID-19. But I want to tell you that my ministry, we are committed to ensure that we carry the young ones along, because they are the future leaders. They are the hope of. And see how eloquent you are talking, because you went to the Children's Parliament. Look at how Esther and Aisha spoke as if they are even senior officials in government anywhere. That courage, that confidence needs to be built in our young children. And that can only be done through mentoring, encouraging fora where we can have discussions as we are having with you here. So we'll continue to do that. In conjunction with the Ministry of Education, to see that the children have their sense of belonging, have the self-worth, and are encouraged in all aspects to fit in as future leaders within our society.
Thank you, Ma. Esther, I'm going to come back to you soon. Austine, are you here now? You want to ask your question now? Austine. Okay.
Excellency.
Okay.
Yes.
Hello.
We can hear you now.
Yes,
Hello.
I hear you.
Ma,
Yeah, Her Excellency, I would like to know, yeah, I would like
Austine,
to,
introduce
Her Excellency,
yourself.
yes.
Introduce yourself to mommy.
Yes, I was the first sergeant at arms. Okay. I was the first sergeant at arms of the Nigerian Children's Parliament.
Great.
Before I went on to become the chairman, information, media, and publicity.
Great.
So, mommy, I would like to know, with regards the issue of sexual abuse going on all over the country. You know, the first point of call whenever an issue happens or a crime is the police station.
Yeah.
So I would like to know if, with regards cases of sexual abuse, when people go to the stations, can't we have a special unit in the police station that's been enlightened by government on cases of sexual abuse? Because when you go to the station, there's no particular unit that handles such cases.
There is. And we are working to
Can you hear me, Ma?
ensure that they are well trained. There is a desk officer. We have a desk officer.
Yeah, you, ma'am.
Yes. That has been made very clear. We have investigated, and the Inspector General of Police assured us of that. All we need, and we are advocating for, is more training for them to be more receptive and kind enough to handle such rape cases, because the reports we get is very depressing. And as I've told you, if you watch on the news on Monday, the president gave the Inspector General of Police a marching order, and after that, myself and the Minister of Information were invited to join him in the press briefing at the presidential dinner. So these things are happening, and we will continue as we increase the awareness, intensify campaigns of condemning this deadly act. Everybody will. The police officers at the police station, everybody will now sit up, because they've seen the commitment at the highest level. It's not just the president, it's not just the Senate president, it's not just the House of Reps, it's not just, but the civil society, everybody is involved. All hands are on deck. So I believe with that and with the interministerial committee that is put in place with the Inspector General of Police being a member of this committee, we will closely work together. There will
Thank you,
be
ma.
proper synergy. If we work together, we'll be able to improve on these things. And we want everybody to be part of it. As I told you, it's a societal problem, and the social media is there. Once you identify there's any problem or any negligence by any police at any police station, alert us. We will expose them. We will shout. We'll continue to shout until we get justice for all victims.
Thank you, Ma. Thank you, Austine. Ma, as I begin to wrap up, we want to look at leadership access for women.
Dayo, wait. Austine, I want to make sure you are happy. Are you happy? Are you
Austine, are you happy now? I think his mic is muted.
Okay.
Austine, unmute yourself.
I'm happy now that I've seen his smile because I've been looking too serious for me.
Thank you, ma.
Yes, ma. I'm okay.
You are angry about what is happening to your sisters because every good boy should be angry the way we are all angry, isn't it?
Absolutely, ma. Absolutely, ma. A lot of comments are coming in, but I'm sure we'll come back to all of those after. Right now, I want to move into the final issue before we wrap up for this afternoon, and it's about leadership access for women. And then I'm going to take one more questions from Esther and Aisha if they do have any. Ma, you have played a role in leadership for women. Over the years, you have showed what women can do. You have shown capacity. But still, the level of women in leadership at different levels of our government and strata is not as it should be. Even when we talk about youth participation, the same thing for women participation in leadership and in public policy. What are you doing to ensure increased participation of women in leadership, either in elective offices or also even in appointive offices, to ensure that we can actually have affirmative action, in particular under this administration?
Thank you very much.
Can I add quickly before you ask? Sorry, mommy. I was going to ask, just as Dayo had said, that so whilst we're in the Children's Parliament, we're given the opportunity to speak, to step up to the plate, to take responsibility. And then we let the Children's Parliament to go into the outside world, and we find out that there is no seat for women in the offices, in the local government, in politics, in health, in whatsoever things, only men are there. Or mostly men are there. Sometimes you enter into a room and you're the only woman there, and everybody's wondering what is she doing here. So I want to know really that how are we creating that space for women to speak up, to have a seat at the table, to be able to influence things. You've helped people. I understand that your journey has been such that it's been inspiring. Somebody created that room for you. How is the ministry helping to create that same room for other women that are coming as well? Thank you so much.
Thank you. We are working closely with all stakeholders, and we are advocating and lobbying for space. But you see, you can only get this space when you excel. And that's why I've told you,
very true.
Education is key. With education, like all of you that I'm seeing here on this platform, can fit in anywhere. And I challenge you, try to demand or contest, make yourself relevant in your community, and you'll be identified with. Let me give you an example of the present chairman of the Children's Parliament. He's from Kano. I took him for an AU conference on children last year. Yeah, we traveled together. And this boy, 2020, Day of the African Child, he read a powerful speech on behalf of Nigerian children. Today's conference at Addis Ababa is an African Union conference for children on sex abuse, online sex abuse. It was horrific. That was what we learned at that conference. And we were asked to come with at least one of the leaders of the Children's Parliament. And I made sure I took along the chairman of the Children's Parliament. And this boy really made me proud. He had his speech. By the time we got to Addis, due to the number of countries, there were about over 90-something countries that were participated. Ministers of Women Affairs across the whole of African Union were in attendance, and they wanted to adjust the program. They said due to time constraint, they will cut off. Many countries did not come with their children's the leadership of the Children's Parliament, but I went with it, and we were fully prepared to make a presentation. They now said, no, I will be given 5 minutes, and after my speech, that's all. I said, no. I insisted. I said, I cannot take this boy all the way from Nigeria to Addis Ababa, and then we go back without him making a 1-minute statement. And I know that if I demanded 1 minute, by the time he starts speaking, nobody will stop him. I knew how eloquent he was, so I now pleaded before my speech. I said, fine, you've given me 5 minutes. Yes, accepted, but I defer 1 minute to my chairman of the Children's Parliament. Wow. So I lobbied that before it was my turn to speak. It was granted. So I made sure he was near me. Immediately I finished, I said, move to your seat. By the time he started speaking, nobody could stop him. He had to finish his speech. By the time he finished, the whole hall gave us a standing ovation. And this boy, I strongly believe he will go places just like I can see from your faces, and I'm praying. I declare that all of you will go places, particularly the girls here.
Amen.
Aisha and Esther, my prayer for you that you will even be better than me in the future, in Jesus' name. Receive
Amen.
it.
Amen, Mommy. Thank you so much.
So, all of you, my prayer and my wish is that our children should be better than us. That is the joy of every parent, that we hand over the baton to better children that will do better than us and create a better world. I pray God will answer our prayers. We will keep encouraging you. But my prayer to young children, to our children, is put in your very best in your studies. If you excel, if you do well in school, there's no way you can be denied sitting at the highest seat. Just put in your best, do well, you will always be encouraged. It's just like now, we have so many graduates out in the labor market. And for any organization, for them to pick, they will always give preference to first class or second class upper before you look at the third class. So that's why I encourage everybody to put in his best, do well. Education can take you places. And once I'm happy, Austine is an engineer, looking at Esther, Dayo, Aisha, I know that you will surely go places because you do well, you have the confidence, you believe in yourself, and you can stand anywhere. So we in the Ministry of Women Affairs will continue to mentor and support and encourage and ensure that you get into the rightful positions and rightful place through either the state government or local government, wherever you have issues. We have commissioners of women affairs that we are working closely with. We have council meeting once a year where all of them will meet. But with the COVID-19, we will make it more distinct. more frequent. Like because of this rape issue, I called for a meeting and we had a Zoom meeting like this 3 weeks ago. We keep calling. We have a page, a WhatsApp page that we communicate with them, and they report cases to us. And where there are problems, where there are issues, reach out to them. And where they are not doing well, let us know. But I strongly believe that if we work together, all Ministry of Humanitarian, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Health, all the line ministries that has something to do with women and children. If we put heads together, we work together, and our parents live up to expectation because our values have been destroyed. Parents must ensure that they discipline their children and they treat their children equally. Give the girl child the sense of belonging that she can match up with anybody. And by the
Thank you so
time
much,
child is well educated, finish her university, the men will come running after them. I keep telling the girl child, don't think of marriage early. First your education, when you excel, the men will run after you. And then you make your choice.
Esther, have you heard? Aisha, they say don't think of boys. Take your time. No rush.
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Thank you so much, Ma. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been speaking
Thank you, Ma.
with the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Dame Pauline K. Tallen of FRKSG. Somebody said they have a question. Before you do,
I do.
want to. That will be a final question. Before you do, I want to say a big thank you to Mommy, the Honorable Minister, for your time, 1 hour in this busy COVID period, to sit down with us and talk with us. We're so grateful on behalf of all Nigerian children and young people. And we the children that have grown up now and the current children who are currently enjoying the time, and all the former members of the Children's Parliament, led by our former First Senate President, Senator Engr Labia Abe. And thank you, Aisha. Thank you, Engr. Thank you, Austine. Thank you, Anderson, Lolairi, and everybody. Aisha, what's your final question?
Oh, great. First of all, I would like to tap into the anointing of having Mommy in our midst, and I say amen to all your prayers, Ma.
Thank you. It will come.
Yes, amen, amen. We hope so. We hope to reach where you have gotten and hopefully even get higher than that, Ma. Okay, my question is, I might sound a bit petty, but I know I probably would not get an opportunity to speak with you again. So I'll just take hold of this one. My question is on the fifth Nigerian Children's Parliament. I'm a past parliamentarian, just this last set, and we've actually dropped proposals and made a lot of phone calls and had meetings, and we're like, okay, if the ministry can, in its magnanimity, give to us certificates of leadership or certificates of participation.
No, there's even a
However, the
standard
ministry.
certificate that we all got. There's a standard one that we all got when we exited. Certificate of service.
I didn't get any. So let me tell you, Dayo and Esther, as you guys went out and it was coming down, in recent times it has degenerated gradually. But I hope with Mommy now, I'm hearing about a speaker going to Addis Ababa. I'm quite impressed. So yes. Mommy, we want the fifth Nigerian Children's Parliament. On behalf of all of us, I say we want our certificates, please, and we're sure that with your leadership and your big heart, you do justice to that and give us an opportunity to have this to our curriculum vitae. Thank you. That's my question.
Thank you very much, Aisha. I am very impressed with your question, and I want to assure you you will remain in my prayers, and my prayer and anointing will come to pass on all of you. Regards your question, requesting for a certificate, although Dayo said you have a standard certificate.
We have a standard certificate of service.
Right. I am also planning something for you. Write me And anytime we are having programs on grooming young people in leadership, I will involve some of you. We'll be taking
Thank
you
you,
in.
ma.
So write me.
Thank
I would
you.
like to have the list of the past leaders,
All of the former members, yes.
some of the former leaders of the parliament, and where you are, your addresses, so that if some of you are close by in Abuja or wherever you are, in all your states,
Aisha, don't worry.
in Abuja, fine. Please get in touch, send me the letter and give me the list of all the leaders of the past parliamentarian
Yes.
leadership, and then your contact numbers, your contact address, and we'll reach out to you. I promise you that.
I will make sure I compile that and get that across to you.
Please
Thank
do
you
that.
Thank you so
ma.
much, Mommy.
Let
We
me also
appreciate
use
the
the
opportunity.
opportunity
Thank you.
to
God bless.
recognize. Mommy, before you go, I want to say a big thank you to all the people that have been there for us in the Children's Parliament over the years. From Auntie Kem Oselo Karakwe to Auntie Jumai. Auntie Jumai was my chaperone to the World Water Forum in Japan. We went from Shiga to Yokohama to Kyoto. We also went to Paris together. And those were the good old days of the Children's Parliament and a few
It's still
countries.
good. It's still good. It will still be good. We are maintaining.
Amen.
My God's great. And Auntie Mrs. Shuaibu, I think she's also still in the ministry, Mrs. Oyeyemi, and a lot of the directors that we have had over there, Auntie Kim and everybody, and Auntie Jumai. And also to Violence, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you tonight. Thank you, Mama, for the time that you have created. We're very grateful. We wish you the best of luck in the remaining tenure of this administration. We're looking forward to more impact and big results that will promote at the end of your tenure by the grace of God. We want to celebrate big, big things that have happened in the life of Nigerian children. Thank you and God bless you.
Amen.
Esther, oh yeah, say thank you. Aisha, say thank you.
Thank
you
you,
so
Ma.
much, Mommy.
Thank you, Mommy.
Aisha,